JordanTower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. Okay, so Cenat links up with Rihanna. He goes crazy, because he got a DM from Rihanna. But this is probably performative because Cenat's one of the top streamers. Is him, Speed, Aiden. There's a couple others, but those are the most notable ones that are commercially known beyond the streaming world. There's XQC as well. So, and this is because I think they introduced a lot of rappers on their streams that, made them go beyond just streaming. So anyways, Rihanna and Fenty are probably going to collab with Kai on something. He's brand safe. He's very brand safe. So that's why. It's funny that Jay Prince just does not realize, he's really trying to go back and forth with Wack 100, not realizing he's the next target. Now, both of these guys, Wack 100 and Jay Prince, are morally corrupt to me. They have different power. Jay Prince's power is from fear-mongering for the past 30 years, making people scared of him, doing things back in the 90s, early 2000s, maybe even the 80s, that made people scared to, contest him. He's taken people's masters, given people unfair deals, and they still smile and take it. It's true. Takeoff got killed on the watch of Jay Prince Jr. They checked in. Then their crews got into it over a dice game, and a gun got withdrawn instead of a fight or something, and checking in got Takeoff killed. Right? And then they had the nerve to put up a memorial with their name and flowers and Takeoff's name on a poster in the background. Interesting. They did podcasts trying to explain this away when they know that they were guilty of this because it happened on their watch. I don't care if they pulled the trigger or not. Just checking in with them, you're supposed to be safe. Takeoff can't get a refund on that. He's unfortunately, this talented Takeoff was very talented. Didn't even seem that controversial. It was a nice guy, and he got killed on the watch of the Prince family. Sick, to be honest with you. He was just doing what he thought was right. Thought he was safe, and he wasn't. And that's why I despise the Prince family at this point. I had a lot of respect for Jay Prince years ago. Until his, and he kind of respected his bullying tactics before because it was for fairness, you thought. His son got to get paid, Drake got to get paid, Lil Wayne needs to get paid, but, stuff like that. He put out these warnings. Nobody cared. Birdman never cared about Jay Prince's warnings, okay? Anyways, Jay Prince, tries to put out these statements towards Wack 100 when he does the same thing in a different way. Wack 100 basically is a guy that claims Pyru, but goes against everything a Pyru would do. Okay, podcasting, telling people's street business, recruiting other people to tell people's street business, which is eventually now in an indictment. He didn't have to go and make a statement. All he had to do was facilitate the information to the internet, and it found its way to an indictment.
Y'all see me live in the living color. I can walk in peace. You ain't gonna hear us, on no podcast hating and belittling, trying to tear down our fellow man versus uplifting and going on the podcast every day to snitch on somebody, taking, advantage of the youth, those that...
what's funny with this guy? He did this without speaking. He took advantage of people and exploited them without speaking. It doesn't matter. And you did this to, he says, his own people. He did this to his own people. This guy's not a saint, okay? These people aren't saints. They can talk down to people all they want. Oh, he's exploiting other people, our own people. This. He did the same thing. Come on, man. Let's stop. So let's stop, okay? Dude, Prince is not a saint. Okay. If give back the masters to your artists, or splits with your masters with your artists. How about doing that? You won't. Eliante showcases new chains he made for young Scooter's family in honor of his passing. Well, Scooter spent enough money with Eliante that I'm sure he could make these little baby chains. It's nice though. It's a nice, Scooter was he was an Atlanta legend, man, and you never heard his name in no messed up stuff. Lived clean, had the utmost respect from everybody in Atlanta, and I hope that woman pays for swatting his house. To be honest with you, because it was his birthday. Come on, man. On his birthday, you did it too. It's like the story couldn't be any worse. It's just and from jumping over a fence, like wow, It's a loss for words, man. It's like very unexpected. It's like when we lost Shorty Low. Very, very sad. Another Atlanta legend. And R.I.P. Shorty Low and R.I.P. Scooter, man. They'll be missed. Just knowing they were around was good. Like having them. I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say. I feel really bad for Future. I feel bad for Scooter's family. Yeah. Well, Megan Kniff says a jury in 2023 said Soulja Boy owes a woman $472,000 for a civil suit and kidnapping claims. And jury will hear closing arguments today in that case from a woman who testified about similar abuse. Here's Soulja Boy walking to court today. Now, I like that Megan posted this because it shows Soulja Boy in his fake glasses, because Soulja Boy was clowned by the other side, saying he wears fake glasses to court to appear to be, the choir boy over here, but he's not. Soulja Boy gets accused of similar stuff like this often. Remember on Love and Hip Hop, the Teddy Riley's daughter, all this stuff. Soulja Boy has a problem. Okay. He was trying to clown Blueface for losing a case against his baby mom, Soulja Boy's baby mom, for slander, right? Which only was won because Blueface was in jail, right? All he did is said they had relations in the past, right? Blueface could probably prove that, and it would get thrown out. So it's probably going to get overturned. Now, Soulja Boy, if he loses all these cases, he's going to owe over $1 million probably. That's what I think. And it's a shame, because really, Soulja Boy could have avoided this very easily, just being a decent human being, He can talk smack all he wants. It doesn't matter. That's words. Once you start putting hands on people, not a problem. Nicki Minaj was named the top female artist by Billboard. Cardi B, I think, is number 2 right now. Drake has officially surpassed the Beatles to become the artist with the most cumulative weeks charting in Billboard 200 history. That's big. Then we got Stephen A. Smith talking about running for president again. He keeps playing with this. You're not going to run for president. Who would want to be president? Okay, you have to deal with other nations in their egos. You have to actually call hits on terrorists, and people have to die. People do have to die. You have to go into that what do they call it? The something room, and that you got to make decisions that will take people's lives to protect the country you're representing. You have to deal with budgets, slander. Stephen A. Smith doesn't realize. I think he's just having fun with it, to be honest with you, because he's gotten into talking about politics from sports, which who's really taking anybody's advice on politics? Like, I would never get on here and start spewing politics to you. Why would you take my advice? It's my opinion. You have your opinion. I respect your opinion, right? And I'm sure you respect mine, even if we differ. But Why? I don't know why people love jumping in politics now. Like, it's almost like a sporting event. So many people were in it. Shade rooms in it. Why? Why? I mean, I can only assume some entity. They've uncovered that a lot of blogs and a lot of websites and newspapers, even and CNN, gets money from political parties. And then you don't have a free press anymore. It's like it's paid for press. And then you really got to like get your news from like X or Threads or whatever you choose. You got to get your news somewhere else. That's not censored. It's insane politics. I would never want to be in it. Cenat reacts to a DM. Oh, no, we already saw that. Okay, so we're good. All right, so we did everything. I appreciate you guys, and I will check you guys in the next one. Sorry, I had to catch up on sleep for the past 10 hours, 10, 12 hours. I had to catch up on sleep, man. But I am back in full effect. I was falling asleep. The last video I had posted, I was falling asleep doing it. I was like, I got to go to bed. I tried to wake up at 2, 3. My body wasn't having it, so sometimes you just got to take care of yourself, man. Every once in a while, you got to get that full 10, 12 hours of sleep to totally recharge. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. Stay positive out here. Don't let the negative news cycle bother you. Everything will work out, okay? I promise you. Everything always does kind of shake out. You just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and trying your best, and do not get discouraged by anything out here. Never let anything discourage you. Sometimes we need to stop and take a breather if something is like, if something's kind of knocked you down, like maybe you didn't pass a test, or maybe you didn't, maybe you're having trouble learning a new skill, or maybe things just don't seem to be working out for you. That's a good time to take a step back, take a breather, take a day or two, and then re-tackle the same issue, okay? Don't let life get you down. I have to tell myself this all the time. We all have obstacles in our life, even me. All of us do. I don't share them all. I share some of them. Life has a mysterious way of working out. You might be out there trying to find the one you want to be with. I used to be there too, until I found the person I wanted to be with. It takes a long time, and it takes patience, and it takes... You just know when you know. Like you can't go off that initial feeling. You got to put people to the test, and you got to give it time to see if they're really the one for you, because the worst thing you could do is get with someone that's not for you, because then you're stuck in you're basically in life jail, which is basically you don't want to be in your skin at that moment. I've been there. We've all had a nightmare girlfriend, We've all had that. Maybe you're living with somebody that, hey, am I living with the enemy? But eventually you'll just know when you find the person that's right for you, and it might not be the fairy tale you expected, but is this someone that's your best friend that you can live with the rest of your life? That's out there for you too. You just got to open up to everything and, go out there not looking for that. Just go out there to date, and you'll just know. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. And I know it sounds crazy to say you just know, but you do. When someone seems to match you on a humor level, they don't even have to match you politically. It shouldn't even be a factor. But they just got to match you based on, I think, like just conversation, and you got to be able to laugh together. That's important. And you got to be able to meet in the middle. If you can't meet in the middle, and I think someone has to kind of lead a little bit, Someone does have to be in the lead and be able to lead. But you should always be open to meet in the middle. And, yeah. More on that later. But I appreciate you guys. I will check you on the next one. Peace.